Thanks for taking time to watch the Footprint Strategy Basics recording. This recording is meant to get you thinking about ways of applying the footprint chart. It'll teach you the basics of reading a footprint chart so that you can benefit more from the other strategy videos and begin devising your own ways of applying the information the footprint chart provides. Many of our customers have developed unique ways of taking this information and making it more relevant to their style and methodology of trading. Probably one of the most important things to keep in mind is that the footprint is a chart which offers information categorized in a little different yet better way than you're currently using. You could take all your technical indicators and drawing tools that you may already be using and simply begin applying them to the footprint chart. You'll still be operating within the realm you already do, but you'll have the added confidence and transparency that the footprint chart provides. It's a no-brainer. If you're listening for some very specific strategies, that information is near the end of this recording, so feel free to advance to the end for specific strategies. When it comes to analyzing and understanding volume and its impact on price, there's no better tool for the job than the footprint chart. This is specifically what it was created to do. Bar charts and candle charts were created at a time when price was all that mattered, because that was all that was really being tracked in real time. Electronic trading has changed everything, and now the footprint is a natural progression for capturing, quantifying, and displaying the additional data in a logical manner. Before we go any further, it's important to understand that MarketDelta is the name of the company that offers the MarketDelta software. The footprint chart, which you often hear referred to as MarketDelta, is the unique chart we created and is just one portion of what the MarketDelta software has to offer. So while most of the material and examples revolve around the footprint chart, there are also a lot of other traditional tools that you'd expect to have, including the CBOT market profile. Much of MarketDelta's material and documentation on the website revolve around the footprint because we created it and are the authority on the subject and responsible for educating traders about its uses. Next, let me briefly explain some of the various things that will affect how you may choose to use the footprint chart. This list isn't comprehensive, but it is the primary things that you'll want to consider while applying and using the footprint chart. The first one will be periodicity, and these are in no particular order, but periodicity. We have a bunch of information in the knowledge base, and there's a few blog articles on the periodicity. But periodicity is simply the time frame of the chart that you're viewing. The footprint is primarily geared and will work best in intraday time frames. That's very important to understand, simply because a lot of the information that you see, the color, is going to be more applicable in shorter time frames. If you're looking at simply volume distributions, the longer time frames would suit very well for that. So keep that in mind. So real quick, let me just show you how to change the periodicity. One way is to just begin typing a number, and if I type a number, it'll bring up the periodicity menu, and you can then change it from here. Another way to access this same thing is to just double click down here on the time frame scale and click the period button, and you'll see periodicity, and so you can access it there. But it may be easiest just to press the number, and that'll allow you to change to a different periodicity or different periodicity type. As far as which periodicities work best for the footprint, one of the things that we often recommend is looking at non-time-based periodicities. That means charts that aren't based on the tick of a clock. So for instance, you can see that I had this one set up to a 987 tick. Each bar would represent 987 ticks. There's a bunch of various non-time-based periodicities, as you can see listed here. But if we wanted to just go to a simple time-based, we could just click time and say 5 minutes, and now we click OK, and that would be your 5-minute chart. Perfectly fine there, but a lot of our users have found that the non-time-based periodicities are what they like. The next thing to consider would be the footprint type. As you can see, I have mine set to the footprint profile. You may have this button in your upper left hand corner of your footprint, and it probably lists some of the footprint types. This is the one I'm on, footprint profile. If I went to the footprint bid ask, this would change it to the bid ask footprint. Different footprint types will be suited for different people in different ways that they want to see the information. One really isn't suited over the other. The most popular would be the bid ask footprint, the delta footprint, and the footprint pro. But if you wanted to actually change the footprint type from bid ask to delta or whatever, you can do that by just opening the preferences. I just double click on the actual footprint, and you can see the footprint display right here. These would be your options. Another option you have is shading the background of the dominant side of the trade only. And again, this is just a variation of the bid-ask footprint. So if I double-click the chart, or double-click the actual footprint and go in here, you can see the settings that I have. I have it set to a bid-ask footprint, shade dominant side only. And what this does, it's basically shading the side of the market that it had more volume. And so you can quickly see that in this break lower, most of the volume that was traded in this break was on the bid as a result of the aggressive sellers. We have a good group of users that really like this view because it's just highlighting the side of the market that's being most affected in the market. Now another option you have, and this is a very good thing, with the footprint you have the ability to add all technical indicators that are available within the software. And to do that, I'm going to right click add and choose add technical indicator. And I'm going to add a specific one in this case, one that's unique to the footprint. I'm going to click the letter F and I'm going to choose footprint bar statistics. This opens up a menu with a bunch of different options that you can basically move to the right side if you want, and I'll go ahead and just add these three. And I'm going to say add and close. What it does is it adds those statistics to the bottom of the chart, and they're totals. They're totals for each bar. So you can see the buy volume, sell volume, the delta. There's all kinds of other statistics you may want to add. So this is a nice option. It gives you some specific numbers to do different analysis off of. The same goes for the right side of the chart, and to do that you just add the technical indicator again, and this one is actually called footprint price statistics. I'll just show you real quick. Now I've already added one, so it may be best that I would just double click this and then add additional columns if I would like. Some of the benefits and maybe strategies, the way that you could apply this would be just being able to see the high volume prices. That's going to be one of the large benefits, just being able to see where interest is in the marketplace, where the high volume points are, where the low volume points are. Let me zoom in a little bit more so we can all see this chart. Another benefit that you get from the footprint chart is the ability to read supply and demand. The transparency that the footprint provides is a price by price within each bar level of transparency. So you can watch in real time, in whatever time frame you want, as a market trades, what type of interest is it drawing. And so let's just look this break lower here in this market. You can see it started out on light volume, but as it traded lower and lower, volume was increasing more and more, essentially drawing more and more participants. And really what it's doing is the market, there's supply offering the market lower, they're selling it, and it's drawing demand. Basically the buyers aren't stepping in until it's at a point where they're willing to step in and offer or present demand to meet the supply that was available. And so just seeing the information this way and seeing the color of what the footprint provides, the selling, you can have a much better feel for what's going on and where a market may stop and actually reverse or then consolidate, as you saw here. That's just one simple way of looking at this information. Another way that is a common use that the footprint gets applied with is the value area. If you're familiar with market profile, many market profile users will refer to the value area. MarketDelta has the ability to simply apply the value area to the chart and then use those reference points to gauge response or initiative activity, whatever you're looking for, whatever your strategy or your methodology is, you can apply it based on those known reference points that are automatically applied to the chart. Something that's not necessarily obvious to someone new to the footprint is whether a bar is closing higher or lower. You can see to the left of each of these bars, it's either a green or red little stick or bar. So for instance, right here where my cursor is, you can see this one closed higher, it's green. This one here opened, open here, closed here. And you get an idea of whether they're closing higher or lower. So it's the same information that you would see contained in a candlestick, yet you have, again, the added transparency and the added value that the footprint chart provides. Something we haven't touched on a whole bunch yet, but it's the color shading that the footprint chart provides. We go into a little more detail on that in the knowledge base, but really all it is giving you an idea of how aggressive the selling is or how aggressive the buying is at each particular price. Now, if you don't care about price by price information, which is certainly understandable, you can refer down maybe to the bottom. And you can see this bottom row that I have is called, it's the delta. So that'd be the delta per bar. So you can get an idea of the magnitude of selling. For instance, in this case, you can see it's minus 55.72. You compare that to the other values nearby, and you can see that's a fairly significant number, negative number, representing real aggressive selling took place in that bar. So again, how would you use that information? You may simply use it to understand the market broke out to new lows on fairly heavy selling and see what it does if it pulls back. If it's not able to pull back, we may see some continuation to the downside based on the initiative activity that took place. Okay, and we've already touched on some technical indicators, but let's add maybe a drawing tool to this. And before I do that, let me zoom. Let's change this chart so it looks a little different. We have a little extra information on it. I just zoomed out a little bit. And I'm going to right click the chart and say show toolbar. I'm just going to add a simple trend line just to show you that you have the ability to do this. So let's say I wanted to add it from here to here and extend. I can set this now. I can then go into this trend line and have it project to present or do whatever, which I'll actually have it project to present. So now I have my trend line on here. I can let the market trade, and I have my reference points in the trend line. So you have all the drawing tools you would expect and technical indicators that I mentioned earlier. We've provided some other excellent resources when it comes to applying the footprint chart and getting more out of MarketDelta. This was just a simple walkthrough of some of the things you can do, but of course there's a myriad of combinations that you may want to apply or things you can do. This is really to expose you to some of the power and things available to the footprint. There are a bunch more videos, strategy-specific videos, on the website under Support Video Library, and specifically refer to the strategy section. The videos there provide a list of market conditions and then provide some strategies you might consider. An example of that would be a trending market. How would you apply the information that's gleaned from the footprint to a trending market or a market that's consolidating? How would you read the information on the footprint and apply it to a consolidating market? Of course, then you can apply all the things you already know, strategies, methodologies, technical indicators, and bring all that into the picture. But it is important to understand at least how to read some of the unique information that the footprint chart provides. The second thing is our downloadable strategy guide's a fantastic way to get more ideas on some of the things I may have talked about, as well as some more specific ideas on how you can approach the footprint, how you can use it, things like that. It's located on the website under Support and then Resources. And click around in there, you'll see it. You can download it. It's a PDF. The third thing is our blog. It offers frequent posts and provides examples of relevant current market conditions. Feel free to scroll back in time and look at some of the videos there, the articles. There's a couple years worth of data. And lastly, we have a custom studies page on the website that offers some very specific strategies that have been actually coded up, and they're available for resale, for purchase. There's also a bunch of free chart definitions there that you can download instantly and begin to use. And there's actually a lot of those, a lot more of the free chart definitions than there are the indicators. But for those looking for very specific strategies that come out of the footprint and really use the information that the footprint provides, we have taken the step and we've coded those some unique strategies up and made them available for sale. Of course, if you have the professional or pro complete editions, you can code up your own studies and indicators and use them alongside your own MarketDelta. So this is probably enough to get you interested in learning more. If you haven't already, take advantage of our free trial and see what it's all about. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this recording and trust it'll serve as a great resource for you as you begin to learn more about MarketDelta and the footprint chart. Thanks, and make a great day.